नमस्कार। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृत तव कथामृतं तप्त जीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमंगलं श्रीमदादतं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः। श्री रामकृष्ण कथामृतो प्रथम भाग षष्ठ खंडो और तृतीय परिच्छेद. We are continuing with our reading of the third chapter of the sixth section of first volume of the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna in Bengali. And Sri M has beautifully narrated how he saw Sri Ramakrishna first in Samadhi, and then Sri Ramakrishna having come down on the normal plane, talking to the Divine Mother. It is a one-to-one conversation of the child and his mother, his beloved Divine Mother. And Sri Ramakrishna is asking her, referring to Sri M, he is asking, Mother, Ma, why you have given him only 1/16th portion? Your storehouse is so huge, your bhandar is immeasurable. From that, why you have given him only 1/16th portion? And then the Divine Mother has answered her child's question, and then Sri Ramakrishna says, "Oh, I know now that even that one kala, that small 1/16th portion that you have given him, is sufficient enough for him. Is sufficient enough that with that one kala, with that whatever 1/16th portion he has got from you, from your warehouse, from your bhandar, from your storehouse, that will enable him to do your work. That will be sufficient to preach the mankind." And look, that 1/16th that Sri M got at the behest of Sri Ramakrishna's talking to his mother, that 1/16th portion that Sri M got, we have got this Sri Ramakrishna Kathamrita, and what immense good this Kathamrita is doing. Not only the people of that generation, when this Kathamrita was first published in late 1800s, and that was in Bengali, and now we have it almost in every language. The things Sri M did at that point of time, even today, after so many generations have passed, maybe 4 or 5 generations must have been passed reading this Kathamrita, and many more to come. This Kathamrita is the Bible for the archaeod. So that's what Sri M had mentioned, and then he has mentioned, maybe is this the way? Is this the way that Thakur Sri Ramakrishna, he transmits the divine power, the spiritual power to his inner circle, to his intimate devotees? এসব কি আয়োজন হইতেছে যে তাহারা জীব শিক্ষা দেবেন? Is Sri Ramakrishna working in order that these children of his, these intimate disciples, they will preach the mankind, they will teach the mankind? And yes, it is happening. That is the way Sri Ramakrishna pleaded with the mother, give my children something so that they will share, they will spread this knowledge of illumination among all the generations to come. And this is what is happening. We are actually seeing it today in this the year 2021. Even today, we are reading, we are getting enriched, our lives are getting illumined by what Sri M did at that time, as a result of Sri Ramakrishna's transmitting those spiritual powers. Now, Sri M continues the happening on that particular day in Sri Ramakrishna's room at Dakshineshwar. Master chhara ঘরে রাখালও বসিয়া আছে. It is not only master that Sri M, he is sitting in that room with Sri Ramakrishna. Even Rakhal is also there. And now Sri Ramakrishna, still in that ecstatic mood, Now he is still in that divine mood. ঠাকুর এখনো আবিষ্ট, রাখালকে বলিতেছেন, তুই রাগ করেছিল, তোকে রাগালুম কেন? এর মানে আছে, ঔষধ ঠিক পড়বে বলে পিলে মুখ তুলে পিলে মুখ তুলে পর মনসার পাতা টাতা দিতে হয়. Now Sri Ramakrishna is talking to Rakhal Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda Ji, the would-be. Sri Ramakrishna is talking to him. Apparently, Sri Ramakrishna has scolded Rakhal, and Rakhal is his spiritual son. Is a bit upset. Hmm. So Sri Ramakrishna asks him, "Tui rag korichili? Are you still angry? Are you angry with me? You were angry with me? Toke ragalum keno? Ero mane ache." Sri Ramakrishna says, "You are angry that I scolded you? Now, why did I scold you? There is a reason for that." Sri Ramakrishna, first of all, he is nothing but a fountain of love and affection for his children. But at times he becomes very strict father. He scolds. And then Rakhal was upset. He was angry that my father has scolded me. So Sri Ramakrishna now asks him, তুই রাগ করেছিলি? Are you angry? Are you upset that I have scolded you? তোকে রাগালুম কেন? Why did I scold you? Hmm? There is a reason for that. এর মানে আছে. It is not that just without any reason I have scolded you. I have scolded you for good reason. I have scolded you for certain purpose. With certain purpose I have scolded you. And then Sri Ramakrishna explains that when something bad happens, one has to get scolding. One should not then feel bad about it. Oh, why I have got a scolding from my father, why I have got a scolding from my mother. Mother rarely scolds. It is mainly the father who scolds, isn't it? So Sri Ramakrishna says, Oshod ঠিক পড়বে বলে. He says the medicine has to work properly, isn't it? If you don't get a medicine, the very pungent, very bitter medicine, how can you get cured? The medicine has to work properly. Pile mukh tulepor. Pile mukh tulepor is pile mukh is when one's spleen gets enlarged, it is kind of the face turning yellow. Hmm. When there is an enlargement of the spleen, and then what happens when the spleen is enlarged? Those days, nowadays, of course, you have got all those fourth generation, fifth generation medicines. Those days, in the 1800s, such medicines were not available. So how that enlarged spleen was treated? পিলে মুখ তুলে পর মনসার পাতা টাতা দিতে হয়. Monsha is one herb. It is a herbal medicine. That leaf of that herb, that was put on the spleen, and then it was branded. Oh my God, what a painful treatment. It was branded with the hot iron. The leaf of that herb having kept on the skin, and branding with the hot iron. So Sri Ramakrishna says, when the spleen gets enlarged, you have to undergo that severe pain, isn't it? Monshar pata tata dite hoye. You have to brand it with the hot iron, with that leaf of the mansa herb kept on the spleen. So Sri Ramakrishna says, if something bad has happened, I will definitely scold you. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel angry about it. So that was Sri Ramakrishna's way of pacifying his child. Don't feel bad that I have scolded you. do anything wrong. If your spleen is enlarged, you will have to be branded with that hot iron with that leaf of herb mansa kept on outside on your body where your spleen lies. So that was a good teaching that Sri Ramakrishna gave to Rakhal, that my children will keep on getting scolding if they do anything wrong. And then what happened? Ki এখন পরে বলিতেছেন, after some time, still in that mood, after talking to Rakhal, all these words, why he scolded him, then after some time, again he spoke. Again he said, হাজরাকে দেখলাম শুষ্ক কাষ্ঠ, শুষ্ক কাঠ. That I have seen that Hazra is like a dry piece of wood. There is no grit in that. There is no substance in it. It is just a dry piece of wood. What happens? You light fire and it is burnt without, doing any purpose. It just dries off immediately. তবে এখানে থাকে কেন? But if that is the reason, still, why does he live here? Why? কেন? তার মানে আছে. He says there is a reason for that also. There is a reason for a person like Hazra, Pratap Chandra Hazra, who used to stay at Dakshineshwar, thinking he is equally illumined, he is at the equal stature as that of Sri Ramakrishna. So Sri Ramakrishna says, why he is here? There is a meaning, there is a reason for that also. তার মানে আছে, জটিলে কুটিলে থাকলে লীলা পোষ্টাই হয়ে. Now Sri Ramakrishna says, gives the example that it is only when Jatila and Kutila are there in Vrindavan, the Lord's play happens. Jatila and Kutila were the duo of mother and sister-in-law of Radha, of Sri Radha. How much trouble they've created for her. But in spite of that troublemaking, in spite of that jealousy, in spite of that all the negativity that Jatila and Kutila tried to spread, it didn't bring down the merriment that all these gopis they had with Lord Krishna. Krishna had to play his Leela in Vrindavan with Radha, with the gopis. But for that, had Jatila and Kutila been not there, has these troublemakers not there, that Leela would have become so dry. There would not have been any fun in that Leela. There would not have been any charm in that Leela had those troubles not occurred at that point of time. Those troublemakers were very much part of Krishna's creation, Krishna's Leela, his divine play at Vrindavan. Without them, this Rasa Leela, the bondage between the gopis and the Krishna, that anurag, what Sri Ramakrishna says, that prema bhakti, it would not have been seen. The coming generations would not have seen that kind of divine love, that kind of divine attachments. What attachment the gopis had, what attachment Radha had for Krishna. That was possible only because of these troublemakers, Jatila and if everything was running smooth, people would not have been bothered about that kind of divine love. Only when there was an obstruction, only when these gopis and Radha, they pained at the separation from Lord Krishna, only then this anurag, this prema bhakti, only then it could get its significance. Otherwise, if they could freely, have darshan of Krishna, if they could freely spend time with Krishna, if there was not pang of this separation, we would not have enjoyed that love story. that divine love story of Radha and Krishna. So Sri Ramakrishna says there is a reason for that also. Sri Ramakrishna says everything that happens there is a reason. Mother doesn't do anything without any reason. So Sri Ramakrishna says even Hazras being here at Dakshineshwar, he also has to create mischief. He has to also create troubles. He has to also create these kind of obstructions, and only then we can understand the play that Sri Ramakrishna had enjoyed with his children, with Rakhal, with Noren, with Latu, with M, and all these divine children of his. Only because Pratap Chandra Hazra was there at Dakshineshwar. This reminds one instance that recently I read in the Gospel of Holy Mother, that once, Pratap Chandra Hazra, he told Sri Ramakrishna, "Oh, you are talking always of Ma, 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 but you are so attached with all these people, Narain and Rakhal. You are so much, you have that attachment for them. You have you even you are not spared from that clutch of Maya." And then Sri Ramakrishna says, if that is the thing, I will just cut off this tie of Maya. Let no paying no heed to Norain, paying no heed to my Rakhal, paying no heed to my Latu. I will just be with my Ma. And what happened? Sri Ramakrishna, it was extremely difficult for him to come down on the lower plane without this attachment for his dear children. And then Sri Ramlal, his nephew, he could not, bear this kind of behavior of Sri Ramakrishna. That 24 hours merged in the Samadhi, one with his mother, and then Ramlal begged to him, "Oh uncle, please be your old self. Don't heed Hazra's words. He may have said that you are, but be attached to your children." And then Sri Ramakrishna brought down his mind to the normal plane, and then his children could enjoy his Leela. So Sri Ramakrishna says, even presence of Hazra over here has got a meaning. Without Jatila and Kutila, the play of Krishna, the play of the divine love, the play of Anurag, the play of Prema Bhakti could not have gone. So that is Sri Ramakrishna's teaching in this particular short portion that we have read today. Next, in our next reading, we will see what further Sri Ramakrishna talks with Sri M and Sri Rakhal and his beloved children. So that is for our next reading. As of now, Om Namah Shri Bhagavate Ramakrishna Sri Ramakrishna Paramastu. Jai Thakur, Jai Ma, Jai Swamiji.